Most of us have played or have watched someone play a video game console. Most of us people have heard of Nintendo either by owning a system or having seen advertised through social media, TV, or commercials. But most of us have not heard of the creator of Nintendo or this most popular game franchise. Today, I'm here to tell you about Fujiro Yoshimiya, the founder and creator of Nintendo, and his son, Yoshima, the creator of the video game console of Nintendo. As I have owned four Nintendo systems, and I was a member of Nintendo Plus for 4 years. Nintendo Plus was a magazine sent out every month about the background of Nintendo. At first, I will give you background on Fujiro Yoshima and how his, and then about Shigeru Yoshima and how his Nintendo consoles have changed the world we know today through the video game franchise and through the electronic franchise. And here's some info about Fujiro Yoshima. Yoshima was born on November 22nd, 1860, during the time the Japanese had banned card games, like playing card games, due to the gambling with dealing with the Yakuza gang. The Yakuza gang would take the money, but the Japanese eventually allowed Yoshima's first game card called Honda, which is a basically playing card game in Japanese, to be sold to the Japanese. From 1889 to 1956, Nintendo stayed as a card company by just selling cards in Japan. They did not localize to the US. But then in 1963 and 1968, Nintendo set up a taxi company called Daya. And the business was first, it was doing great business in Tokyo, but then due to the labor works, it became a massive failure, and Nintendo had to sell the chain company. Then it also set up love chain hotels. Nintendo in Japanese mean love, so they set up love chain hotels, and they set up TV networks and food companies selling instant rice. They all became mass hits, but ended up dying in only Japan when they tried to go to the US. Nintendo's first venture in the video game industry was in 1974 by Fujiro Yoshima's son, Sekiro, as he went to the US and bought the Magnavox Odyssey video game console. And then they produced the video game Color, which is the first one right there, in 1974, and it was released to the public in 1977. With the Color Game TV, it was the first at-home game console available in Japan. At the time, the US had the Atari game system. And then in 1979, Nintendo started to use arcade games, which in the US, big arcade systems were very popular in most eating places, video game places, and malls. As they produced their first arcade game, which was EVR Racing, and then in 1981, they produced their most famous game, and going to be one of their most famous icons of Nintendo, Donkey Kong, featuring Mario, who is now their market brand. And then in 1983, they started to create a handheld game by Mr. Yokio. He was in a bullet train watching these two businessmen play on this LCD cartridge, which he then created called a video game character, Mr. Game & Watch, which is still used today. And in 1993, Nintendo announced their SNES or Super Nintendo. It's right down there. The NES was only available in Japan until the late 2000s, as then more people started to ship them over to the US. But the first US console was the SNES, or called Super Nintendo. It was the first 16-bit terabyte cartridge that allowed more saving and more graphics. And it was the first video game console that was affordable, because the Super Nintendo was very expensive in Japan. Only rich, wealthy people could get it. In America, the Atari was really expensive, but the SNES was basically today's cost around $75, which, it was a lot during the 1990s, but most families could afford it. But then in 1998, the Nintendo produced their first Game Boy, which is a handheld video game system that has a handheld cartridge and is used and was basically what kept Nintendo as the top dog. As then in the late 1990s, Sony and also Microsoft joined the video game console race. Due to success with Nintendo's video game consoles in the 1980s and 1990s, caused big franchises like Sony and Microsoft to also join the console race, as Xbox releasing their Xbox and PlayStation releasing the original PlayStation. which the Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox are known as the three big consoles today. And we buy. Also, Nintendo did not reach out. If Nintendo didn't reach out to game industry, we wouldn't see these consoles today, and we probably wouldn't see that many consoles today because most consoles back then were overpriced. Due to the price of the Atari, SNES became very popular during the U.S. And we wanted to thank Yoshima brothers and sons for the birth of Nintendo and the franchise of video game history.